Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to beautiful downtown Mountain Home, Tennessee. And this is the next episode. You be quiet up there on the monitor of the River Tank. The River Life Community Tank Live. Welcome aboard. This train's going somewhere. I'm not sure where. Some of you guys showed up early. Q Aquatics taking the flag, number one. Susie Q, awesome job on your live stream last night. That was unbelievable. Way to go, you. I hope you guys caught that. If not, go watch the replay of Q Aquatics live stream last night. You won't regret it. We're going to talk about fish foods today. Let's get right into that. I did a video this week. It premiered on Wednesday about my top 5 guppy foods. And my guppies, they're all over that video. You can see they're fine. They were born in my tank, raised in my tank, and now the males and the females are separated into 2 tanks, raised on these foods, continuing to enjoy their life on these foods. So I stand by them based on the success of this batch of guppies. Truth be told, I've mixed the foods up over my guppy keeping career, which I guess technically started when I was 4 years old. So there are other good guppy foods. You can't put more than 5 in a top 5 list and have 5 on your list. So these are the 5 that I'm currently using. That's why they made the list. Let's look up at the chat. Mr. B's here. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing that out. Mr. B's. Just a note here, I wasn't able to post on any of the fish groups today. Like, there wasn't an option for me to write something. I was able to post on my personal page and share from there. So I don't know if that's a me thing or a FishTubers notification thing or a Facebook thing, but I thought I would mention it to you. Kaler's Aquatics in the house. Bob, good to have you here. Hardworking moderator. Appreciate all you do for the community, Bob Kaler. Back to Susie Q. She had her reminder set to be in here. Dragon Lair, what's up? She did the time slot takeover last night. The River Life Community Tank Live normally occurs Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. following KG Tropicals. Much larger YouTube channel, over 170,000 subscribers, hundreds in their live stream every week. It's a privileged slot, and during these strange times, where community is more important than ever. Not that community isn't important all the time, but now more so than ever. We've been sharing our time slot with other YouTube channels, creators that I work with, I have a personal relationship with and trust, and know that you, the community tankers, will enjoy. So last night, Q Aquatics and Exotics took over the time slot and knocked it out of the park. Did a wonderful job. Way to go, Susie. I was in there most of the time, lurking, occasionally participating in the chat, just really appreciating how you guys responded positively to Susie's presentation, which is easy to appreciate. She's so happy and energetic and passionate, just very magnetic personality. You guys showed up, over 100 viewers. Susie brought her group over. A lot of you guys showed up, over 100 likes during the stream. Several hundred views by this morning. It was just wonderful to know that you guys enjoyed that and that Susie Q's channel, Q Aquatics, got a little bump. So thanks to everybody for participating in that continuing community exercise, the time slot takeover. Thank you guys for sharing. JH Aquatics in the house. What is going on, my friend? Hola and adios. I watched your video, and man, you have got it going on. You must be a ball of energy over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands, headed for Vermont. That's quite a jump, but could be quite worth it. Could be the happiest chapter of your life you're getting ready to write. I hope so. Hope you enjoy your move and your new life and everything works out better than you could even expect. Thanks for being here today. The Zen Ginger in the house, another hardworking mod. You guys are beautiful. Thanks again for showing up and helping out in the live stream. Talking about those fish foods, you know, I mentioned my favorite was the Hikari Fancy Guppy. That was a new one for me. I was enamored with the packaging, beautiful vacuum packed envelope style foil, which enhanced the coloration, the metallic coloration they use in the marketing. Beautifully packed. Hikari brand, you recognize it right away. A lot of confidence before I even opened the package. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, well, I wonder if I'm going to like this one. I already liked it. I was already leaning in favor of the food. Hikari had bent the needle. And so when I opened it and saw how fine it was, there was a little hesitation. I wasn't sure exactly how that, it was almost the size of a fry food. But as soon as I put it on the surface of the water the first time and it spread out, and all the fish started eating simultaneously, it was like, okay. So the more timid, shy ones aren't having to make those hit and run missions that sometimes get diverted if a bigger fish jumps in front of them. Everyone was feeding at the same time, and I said, sold. So then I read the ingredients on the label. You can learn all about that in Wednesday's video. I give a rundown of all the fish foods that I've talked about. The Hikari was like, yep. I've never anticipated it would be so fine or that the fish would like it so well. I just thought it was another Hikari food. Okay, proven brand. I know the ingredients are going to be fine. It's not going to foul the water. I'll manage the portion control and everything will be fine. But the fish responded. The food responded on the surface of the water differently than I expected, and the fish responded. It just kind of clicked when I saw it. And so that's my number one food now for all of my tanks with small fish, by the way. So I put some of that in with a varied diet. I've heard some people recently say a varied diet isn't necessary. A fish doesn't get a varied diet in the wild. They get accustomed to where they are. I'm like, wait a minute. There aren't any of these aquarium fish eating Antarctic krill in the wild. We're picking and choosing, much like we would for a healthy human diet, what's a good mixture of fat, protein, so forth, and gives them the vitamins they need, minerals, and makes them look good and last a long time. So just from a human perspective, knowing that a varied diet kind of gives you an overlap, and some foods will have something another food won't have. I just like that well-rounded idea. But I'm not shy about feeding the color enhancers, the natural color enhancers. That tetracolor, I use the extra large granule because I like when the little fish nibble on it, and then it's kind of slow sinking. So then my bottom feeders also get some color enhancement food. I've done that for years and years. So I don't think the ingredient list on the tetracolor is as impressive as some of the other foods in that video, but I do believe in the color enhancing natural ingredients because I've used it for so long and enjoyed beautiful fish while doing so. Cooley Kev's in the house. What's going on? Larry Har. We've got Andrew Purr. Hey, Rack, have you made any of your own foods? I mean, I guess rapashi for sure, and just mixing the over-the-counter stuff. As far as growing vegetables or harvesting shrimp, no, I haven't. I've fed raw vegetables, boiled and blanched, whatever, dropped in the tank. I wouldn't say I've made my own foods. I got a kit one time in my aquarium box where I could mix some ingredients, maybe add my own, make a frozen food maybe. I forget how that went, and it was a mess. Bob Kaler's Aquatic says he feeds high-protein frozen foods, yep, but also high-quality granules and flakes for vegetable content. And if I had to say, in general, what's the best food? I think the most accessible, something that's sustainable, the best food would be frozen natural foods, in my opinion. And the best way to prepare and serve those to your fish, and not that I do this all the time, I'm not a food Nazi, but maybe thaw them out and then take a strainer over an empty cup and then take a cup of tank water and rinse the frozen food once it's thawed from whatever they've been frozen in. That's a good idea. I sometimes do that. I don't always do that. But in that case, that's the best food you can put in an aquarium if all your fish will eat it. That's awesome. Blake's Aquarium in the house. Hello, mate from down under. Good to see you. Thanks for making the trip over today. I hope you're well. Hope everything's fine in Australia. Lori Venker, number 2. Lori, were you number 2 in the house today? Setting your reminder. Thank you so much. Lumpy Dog's in the house. I save crumbs of all dried foods and grind them up for fry powder. Yes, I'm cheap, frugal, and smart, Lumpy Dog. Way to go. There's a fish room hack for you guys. See? Drop in, free hacks. Welcome aboard. We've got 23 of you watching right now. It's 11:40 a.m. We've been going for about 10 minutes talking about the fish foods. Lots of references to my previous video. I'm doing that because it's my practice. If you're hanging out in the River Life Community Tank, you know that's what we do. We talk about the edited content that's always out there for you 24/7. It's a click away. But this particular video, I thought had a lot of good information. I really enjoyed making the video because it features so much live fish action. I was able to get in the fish room with the camera and take care of a lot of filming chores, just looking at those guppies, which I love to do. I love spending time with those guppies. They influence and inspire a lot of my art. Now there's the Endler now, which is available on the River Life Art Etsy page if anyone's interested in acquiring some abstract minimalism, tropical fish inspired art. Make your home more beautiful while you're having to spend more time in it. Hit up that River Life Art Etsy page. Chevy Fish saying hello to everybody. That's fantastic. Lori Venker says, yeah, Lumpy Dog, I do the same thing. Well, it's just a good idea. That's all it is. Hey, Mike's Fishies. Welcome on in here. Appreciate you being here today. John Larson's in the house and Kenny Schindler. What a house full of beautiful people. 22 of you here this morning. Thanks. I appreciate that. I didn't get any negative feedback on the number 1 pick. Got some also. Well, I also use this. Hey, good, great, absolutely. I encourage it. Yeah, let's all use different foods and share what we like. That's what I did. So that Hikari number 1 pick. No negative feedback. So maybe you haven't tried it and think you might, or you have tried it and had similar results. I hope so. And then that number 2 food, the Extreme. Man, that food is coming on strong in the hobby. I think because Corey feeds it to his fish over at the Aquarium Co-op, both his personal collection and at his store. And John and Lisa of KG Tropicals also feed it. And they're not dissing any other foods. They use this food and like it. And I happen to know somehow. Now Corey gave me, he's given me a couple of jars of that at the fish conventions to try, and I really do like it. But somewhere I heard that food was developed by a fish farm. I hope I'm getting this right. I don't like to put out misinformation. I've got notes, and I've already read both of them, so now I'm winging it. A fish farm developed. Oh, and I read it on the label during the video. Yes, that's right. A fish farm had used that, and it had been in development for like 35 years, figuring out what these farm fish, you can imagine thousands. We may have hundreds, thousands, and they do it for a living. So it's important that their fish survive and are sold and look good and arrive healthy so they can stay in business. So that's a pretty good endorsement to have developed this food over a 35-year period at a fish farm. I call that a track record. So that goes beyond the pretty package that impressed me. So that was the number 2 food. It didn't have anything to do with the packaging or the style of food. I think it was also a sinking pellet. Ingredients were solid. There you go. And the fish liked it. And especially the bottom feeders. Because the little guppies in that video, you'll see a sinking pellet, they'll hit several times as it passes through the water column. But once it gets on the bottom, they're done. They're back up to the surface looking for more food. And it's biological. If you look at the shape of their mouth, they're made for eating off the surface. So they have to go like nearly inverted, to grab something off the bottom sometimes. I know you can send me a video that's, no, it doesn't have to do that. Okay. I'm just saying the mouth structure says it's easier to feed on the surface. Blake's Aquatic says he's keen to try Fluval foods, though. He's heard good things. Yeah, I think, didn't Fluval market the bug bites The bug bites are absolutely fantastic. I have about 5 different kinds of bug bites. I did several videos when they first came out of my fish chowing down on the bug bites. When we do the feeding frenzy montage and you see the fish going nuts, that's bug bites that they're eating. But that's a single ingredient. It's a single primary ingredient. I think they enhance it. I think it may be enriched. But it's that black soldier fly larva. Fantastic. But if you can get some Antarctic krill in a rotating diet along with that, or any kind of krill, some spirulina, some of the bug bites they add spirulina to, I think that's the bottom feeding, and the goldfish mix they add spirulina algae to. It's just good. So basically, now that we've mentioned that, Blake, we've got over-the-counter fish foods that are trying to make the food already a complete and varied diet just in one jar. Let's see. The number 4 food on my list was the New Life Spectrum, which I'll tell you has the most impressive ingredient list. If you're selecting by ingredients only, over the counter, I don't think you're going to find better than New Life Spectrum. Out of this world. So little filler, so much nutritious goodness in every pellet. And in the video, I call attention to it. The fish know. The fish respond in an amazing way. They let you know we like this food. So it may be too rich. Okay, might need a little filler, a little fat, a little more fiber after feeding something that rich in the tank. But it's a fantastic food. If you haven't tried the New Life Spectrum, worth a try. None of these are sponsored. They don't sponsor the River Life YouTube channel. I bought these or had them given to me by a third party, or they came in a My Aquarium box kit. No one's paying me to say this. I have a lot of fish food in my fish room. There's a lot more available at the local fish store. There's more at the big box store. These are the 5 I chose because I like them, and I don't like them if my fish don't like them. So it's kind of a fish first choice. I'm influenced. I have the checkbook, right? I make the decision in the end, but it's basically because I think it's good for the fish. I put it in the tank. They respond and say, yep, we can eat that. If it goes in the tank and the fish don't like it, usually the first time, and I'm not going to starve them. It's going to be part of the normal feeding routine. If they don't like it the first time, there's not a second time. Not going to waste their time. I'll just take the hit on the little loss of money as a learn. Hey, my fish in that tank did not like that food. So, no worries. All of that to say, the video, Top 5 Guppy Foods, that we did a premiere on Wednesday, you saw it with your own eyes, how the fish consume the food. I'm telling you, it's my routine in my fish room. Those fish have been raised since birth on that food. I do have a pepper mill grinder that I can grind some of that stuff with the pepper mill to make it fine enough for the fry to eat. But I used the supplemental fry food when they were young, along with a crushed flake. You know how you just crush the flake? When they were the tiniest fry, first few days of eating, they got something that I could just monitor as tiny enough for them to eat. And they did. Then after a few days, boom, right into whatever the adults were eating, they were eating if I had to grind it a little bit or mash it between my fingers. Just no more different food in the fry bin, same as the adults, only smaller size. And now here they are. And they still love it. They get excited about it. I can imagine if I ate the same sandwich, even one meal a day for several days in a row, I'll get so tired of that. But these fish, man, I don't know if their metabolism just keeps them starving to death or they still have that wild instinct, eat while the eating is good. You saw them, they don't seem overweight. The females are growing at a faster rate than the males. I guess they're consuming more food. But they don't seem to be bloated or oversized in any way. I did have a comment. Gina Finch is in the house. Moonstone, hello there. Good morning. Welcome. Concerning overfeeding guppies was easy because they look at you with those guppy dog eyes. I thought that was so cute. What a comment. Guppy dog eyes. Yes, they do. Yeah, like, I need a treat. Give me a treat, please. Blake's Aquatics says he mixes up Coral Foods, First Bites, yep, Sarah Micron, and NLS Grow as a fry food. My goodness, Blake, do your fry just explode? They're like fry for 3 days and then they're grown out? Coral Foods. Wow. Cooley Kevin says, I've been trying to get more live foods in my fish's diet. Been trying to find live Daphnia forever now and start my own culture. Yeah, good luck. I think there's probably an aquarium co-op video that might be a how-to on getting your Daphnia culture started. Good luck with that. And maybe as the weather warms up, something will be available on Aquabid. The Zen Ginger says, I doubt they think they have the same taste receptors we do or brain capacity to care if it's the same food. Well, I don't know. I'm quite sure my guppies are smarter than I am, the Zen Ginger. But I could see how that would be true in your house. There's no fish in your house smarter than you are. Something for everyone, says Blake's Aquatics. I see. Yeah, the smorgasbord, like our community buffet of options. We put a lot of ideas safely on our community buffet of options so that if someone sees something they like, it's there for them to take and learn from and enjoy, make their own life more wonderful, to share with people, to invite others to partake. But we caution each other that if we see something on the option of buffets that we don't like, we don't spit on it. Don't spit on the buffet. It may be what the next guy wants. And now with social distancing, we can understand that. Don't spit on it, okay? Just leave it alone. Keep walking. You don't have to take it. Don't waste your resources, your energy, your time complaining about it or discredit. Just keep going. Keep going. If somebody put it out there on the buffet of options in this safe community environment, it's because it's working for them, making their life better. Could do the same for someone else. That's all. Then when we learn that that idea that makes our life better in this small community, maybe, it makes the rest of our world better too. We'll see. Fishroom Fever's in the house. And he's responding to something I didn't see come in, James. Sorry about that. Scrolling up to see if Fishroom Fever made an entry comment. Yeah, I missed it if he did. No, there it was. Oh, he said, have a like and a lurk. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate both that you're lurking and that you left a like. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, I see. Kaler's Aquatics had asked Fishroom Fever a question in the chat. Okay. And Kaler's Aquatics also mentions that my guppies are better looking than I am. Well, I'm going to take that as a compliment, Mr. Kaler. I'm sure that's how you meant that. Because I'm quite dapper looking myself, and those guppies are just amazing. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, Bob Kaler. Hi, Vinoski. Everybody, yeah, LOL. Everybody knows Bob is a prankster. He's got a sense of humor. He's also a great fish keeper. And in the holding queue, I understand, for getting his channel monetized. Thank you guys so much for supporting Kaler's Aquatics. Great fish and pet keeper. Wonderful collection of fish, both saltwater and freshwater. And has over 1,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, over 4,000 hours of watch time in a year's time, and applied for YouTube partnership. But apparently there's a holdup on getting new partners approved because of the work situation at Google. So hang in there, Bob. It's going to be fine. Thank you very much for putting forth the effort to put out the things for viewers to enjoy, and we do. Thank you for that. Moonstone says, River Life, what's your preferred method for feeding new wigglers about to be free swim or new free swimming fry, such as angels. I am no expert, Moonstone. Anybody who wants to help her out, I know there's some experts in here. Feel free, jump in the chat and help her. I have an upcoming breeding project. It's in progress. I just haven't put the fish together to spawn yet. And the fry are so tiny, like they're probably a week or 2 weeks out from eating baby brine shrimp, newly hatched brine shrimp. So my feeding strategy is two things. I'm going to use the golden pearls, like size 1. It's a tiny micron of a pellet. Size 1 golden pearls and dissolved egg yolk is my backup plan, plan B, and or supplement. And so the video that I'm going to make about raising up these fry has more to do with not the food or how the food's introduced. I'll probably apply the golden pearls on the surface of the water, trying not to clump it up, trying not to get too much moisture attached, trying to just tap it out of off of a cart or something on the surface, and then make a slurry of the egg yolk and put a syringe beneath the water surface and release it as a cloud, just very slowly. So one of the key features of the video coming up, and this is this is projection. It's not in the can, hasn't been done yet. Best case scenario, it works this way. The feature shows how to keep the water clean, because you've already decided that these fry must be near microscopic if you're having to feed these foods right, and you're correct. So how do you keep the water clean? How can you remove water or add a filter that doesn't disturb or accidentally remove or harm the fry? So I've developed a technique that hasn't been tried by me. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm going to make a video. Hopefully there'll be successful fry raised, but I'm not an expert, and it's a kind of a first try. So you can learn with me, either learn what to do or what not to do. But those are the two things I'm going to go with. Chevy fish has already mentioned you got to be careful with the egg yolk, and it spoils the water very quickly. So that's the key to this upcoming video is how to keep the water clean when you're having to feed these tiny fry. So an egg yolk, gosh, I guess that's been done for as long as we've been in fish keeping, feeding fish fry with dissolved egg yolk. And hatching our own brine shrimp, that's probably more recent history, but still it's a long-term standby. Just these tiny fry can't eat them yet, too small. So that's what I've got. I'm sure there are tons of YouTube content on that, but I would probably take the word of someone in chat prior to listening to a stranger on YouTube. The Zen Ginger says vinegar eels and hikari first bites at Moonstone. Yeah, so I have heard both of those things used with the angelfish fry. So that'll probably work really well for you. Good job, the Zen Ginger. And I hope your project goes well there. Do you already have fry, Moonstone? Or you have eggs? Are you planning a hatch? What's going on over there? The Science Gal Aquatics is here. She had to stop in and say hello. Thank you so much. I appreciate having you in here. Another content creator. 31 of you here, 29 likes. My goodness. Thank you guys so much. It is 11:59. We're approaching the halfway mark. Unless we decide to call it early today, because I already told you I've read both of my notes. We have satisfied the thumbnail, fish foods. I have one more note in my brain, if I can remember without getting distracted by myself, to share that with you, just to make sure we cover all of our bases. Hard-boiled eggs. There you go, Dragon Lair. Andrew Purr said, my chat glitched, so I don't know if it went through. Do you have experience with using a worm feeding cone and how to get fish to use it? I do have experience with that, Andrew Purr, and it has been hit and miss. It has been fantastic and disastrous. The cones that I have have a stopper on them, so you don't have to necessarily depend on their own natural buoyancy, which I recommend. Use a clip, use a clamp, use a stopper. Don't let those cones float loose. What can go wrong will go wrong, right? And the fish either take to it or they don't. And when they don't, then it's sometimes difficult to remove the uneaten food, and that can cause you a water parameter nightmare in a hurry. I guess using very small amounts, which now becomes kind of tedious, using small amounts of worms at a time to make sure that everything goes well, then not a lot of uneaten worms sink to the bottom or get into a place that's difficult to retrieve. I think for fish that naturally respond to that without any training, that's fantastic. I think fish that you kind of have to watch, put the worms in, wait for them to find it or not, like it or not, I probably would find another regimen. I don't know. Those are my thoughts, and I'm sure there's some others in the chat. You guys, we're helping each other help each other here. We're bending the needle toward the good. Yeah, ask the guppies if you get stumped. And the guppies, you can have a conversation with guppies. Bob is right about that. They have an opinion, and they'll just share it. Yes, no, maybe, no, maybe I'll give it a try, yes. So they will. They'll tell you. They'll let you know what's on their mind. Yeah, hatching the baby brine, if they'll take it, man, that's fantastic. HC Aqua in the house. What's going on, Jesse? Need to get with you on a breeding project after this one I've just discussed. Got one more point on the thumbnail for this this live stream. I used a picture of my scarlet batis, which I love, and I feed it frozen bloodworms. Okay, that's its favorite food, so it gets frozen bloodworms. And sometimes I'll try that new Vibrabite. It's like it's an extruded pellet that's kind of bent, so it looks like a bloodworm and sinks slowly in the water column, so it kind of looks real. And occasionally it will fool the scarlet batis. Sometimes it does not, and then it goes to the bottom for the corridors to eat. So it's not 100%, it's not 0%, but it's not a frozen bloodworm, you know. So I do use both of those foods with, hey, down the wormhole, good to see you, with the scarlet batis. I wanted to throw that out there. So, oh, Danikin's in the house. Good to see you, Danikin. Danikin's Aquatics made it. I'm glad. Thanks for the like too, Danikin. I appreciate that very much. 34 likes now, 35 watching. You guys are awesome. Yep, so I've got the Vibrabites, tried the Vibrabites. I wish I had the Vibrabites back when I had pea puffers. Do you guys remember that? That was 3 years ago, so early in my YouTube career. You guys weren't watching me then. I don't blame you. I don't recommend going back, although the videos are still up. I had some pea puffers, 5 of them, that I wasn't ready for. I didn't want. I didn't order. I did order a couple trios of beautiful guppies, those bluegrass guppies. There's a painting that was inspired by those guppies on the Etsy page. I'm looking at the original over on my wall now. It's a beautiful painting. And they got a mix up there at the wet spot and sent over 5 pea puffers instead. So I get my next day live arrival and opening up the bag, and I'm like, oh shit, those aren't guppies, those are pea puffers. So I put the pea puffers in the aquarium and scratched my head and started watching YouTube videos and added some snails. They went right after the snails. That was cool. Started feeding them frozen foods. That was cool. And 4 of the 5 died really quickly. It was so sad. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm reading up on the internet. It's like, yeah, man, too bad. Try this, try that. So I had one that lived long term. Great fish. Just love that little guy. So cute, so endearing. What's Bob Ross say? Happy little mistake. I was glad to have gotten those by mistake. Probably would have never ordered them. But, you know, and of course, the wet spot, since I mentioned that, they apologized. There was a mix-up. Somebody who was wanting 5 pea puffers got a bag full of guppies, too. So they hey, you guys keep what you got. Our bad. Day after tomorrow, we'll get your guppies out. Okay, great. Thanks. And everything worked out. Just a couple of day delay, and I ended up with another aquarium in my fish room. You know, boo-hoo. No big deal. Hey, Just Shrimp Granny, what's going on? Yeah, the Zen Gens are censoring me now. I can't take it back. It's out there in the universe. Sorry about that. But you can imagine the surprise. Oh my gosh. My pea puffers. Jessica Taylor getting in the pea puffer business. You're going to enjoy them. They're so cool. They're a great fish. They really are. The cutest little thing. They are. I thought about, no, I can't tell you that. I hate to do you that way. Okay. All right. It's kind of a spoiler alert. It's kind of, I'm letting the secrets out here. See, it's 12:06 and 34 of you watching. So, you've seen my video. Most of you have seen the video on the aquarium. I'm 5-gallon bucket crazy. I love 5-gallon buckets. I just see a bucket and my mind thinks of 10 projects. I just get busy in my mind. So my video a couple weeks ago, you know, was on the bucket organizer. Look what you can do for spring cleaning in your fish room. If you get these bucket accessories and clean out your fish room, then you'll have room for 8 more aquariums. So I did that. So I got these, and you saw at the end of that video, 8 5-gallon buckets, probably going to become aquariums. Didn't want to do that in the fish studio. No more projects. Going to switch over to display. Oh man, it's been months. Missed the projects. So now I'm thinking about the little projects. Pea puffer and a 5-gallon bucket. So, because they have a beautiful dorsal view, right? Because they're personable, they spend some time on the surface. I think it'd be a pretty cool little mini pond fish. So, the reveal here is that there are more bucket videos coming in the aquarium playlist. The breeding program I've talked about, that cleaning the water system that hasn't been tried yet, that's going to be in a bucket. Pea puffer, man, that'd be pretty cool on a bucket. These guppies that we're looking at do a lot of filming from the top to see which ones have the best dorsal view. And it's the metallic head, Dumbo ear guppies. Wow, the big tail. Great dorsal view. Be wonderful in a bucket. So I'm thinking of maybe putting a trio of guppies in a 5-gallon bucket to breed. And then using the guppies, the breeding stock, in an outdoor tub. You know, I've got those Home Depot 35-gallon tubs that look great with floating vegetation and or a water feature. You know, you get a little fountain in the center of those things if you want to hear, you know, the waterfall effect. And if you get them in direct sun, their floating plants will go absolutely nuts. 2 summers ago, I raised goodeids that way, and they absolutely loved it. Those is it a water lettuce that has the very long and thick roots? And that's not legal in every state, so I understand that not everyone can use those. But the live bearers did really well in there, I think because the fry could hide so well in that long root of the water lettuce. Select Pet in the house, hello and welcome. We are talking buckets because I have buckets on the brain. That is correct. Cooley Kevin makes an interesting observation that the pea puffers zoom around like little bumblebees. How accurate is that? I guess Kenny's leaving. See you later, Daniken. Thanks for stopping by. Great to see you as well. The Zen Ginger says to Dragon Lair, I speak like a sailor. It just made me gasp to hear Rack say it. I didn't know he knew those words. Oh, thank you so much, the Zen Ginger. Thank you so much. I almost feel better that you know that about me, that I know those words and I use them mostly when this thing's not in front of me. Yeah, that's just the real truth. That's just the way it is. Yeah, I'm glad you know. And then the Zen Ginger posted the aquarium video, one of my faves. I felt good about putting that out there to you guys, and I encourage you to try it. Just try it. See what you come up with. You can tell in the video that wasn't my first try. I made that orange bucket look good. I had lime green accessories all over the place. And then in the alien invasion video, I set up another aquarium with some really cool features. I think you'll enjoy it if you'll check that one out. It was like, I got to try this. And I did, and it was cool. I liked it. Those shrimp still doing well in their little 5-gallon bucket. All right, so that happened. And I've told you about a breeding project. I don't think I've revealed the fish yet. And I told you about other aquariums that have already been, the space has been justified. And you remember from way back at the beginning of the channel when we had the octokoi that involved 8 5-gallon buckets. And that octokoi, we used light blue buckets because that's a pretty good color of a background for fish. But what I found is I liked a sand substrate better than a bare bottom substrate in those buckets. So then it didn't matter, you know, if you're looking straight down on the fish, then the background is sand colored, not light blue. And then the most recent series of bucketry, we worked with the orange bucket from the Orange Team DIY. And the new ones, the next gen, is going to be all white, food grade buckets collected as a dumpster harvest from a local restaurant. Koshav Shavit's in the house. Getting some love. Hello, Leona. Anthony's Fishy Friends. Talking about a dual output, and that's something like an overhead cam, I'm sure. It's got a Hemi. All right, 12. We got 31 watching. We got any likes? Likes are going up. 38 likes. My gosh, you people are awesome. Anybody see Q Aquatics in here? Did she ever make it back in? I didn't see her, but she was here first. She dropped in, said hello. And if you haven't checked out her replay, do that. She took over our time slot last night. Did a great job. I'm so proud of her. That was excellent. We've got things to do today. Following our live stream, let me put this out there while you're all here. We're going to do a Facebook Live over on River Life Art. River Life Art Facebook Live. You know, I've been getting some painting done. I've got some art to share with you. And we're going to do that over on the River Life Art Facebook page immediately following this live stream. It's 12:13 now. We may get over there a little bit early. Let's see. I don't think we have anybody over there waiting on us. There we go. All right. Yeah. So we're going to go a few more minutes here, and then we're going to go to Facebook on the River Life Art Facebook page. And we are expanding our community with every social media account that I build. On this live stream, the River Life Community Tank live stream, the normal Thursday night slot has been taken over by Multi-Tank Addiction, Aquafunk Aquatics, Q Aquatics. Who am I missing? Chris, and then Funk. And the Fish Tank Barn, Mike Howell, last week, and Susie Q Aquatics. So 4 weeks, we've helped 4 channels, and those channels have helped us. Susie Q said so many nice things about me, as did Mike before her, and Aquafunk, and Chris every week says something nice about let me get back to Sand Creek. It says something nice every week about the River Life Community Tank Live group. So we're building new pages, new platforms, and we're gaining community members and attention because of it. So we're going to shift from here over to the River Life Art page. Now, concerning that, Sand Creek Aquatics says he never did get the last order. And that shipped. You should have had it. Let me go back and look at my my mail receipt. I don't know if this was it. And I'm not sure what the last one, Sand Creek, was. I'm looking at one right now that has a tracking number for your package. So when after we finish on Facebook Live, Nathan, I'll track this package and see what it says. Okay, I'm on that for you, buddy. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate it. Zen is as good as Candy. There's no doubt about it. Candy is awesome. Zen is awesome as well. Candy's a little more experienced, a little more nimble with the links. I think she's got a lot of things memorized just by experience. And I have tried to race her in fetching links as a mod in other chat. And there is, I mean, when I'm on my best game and I do everything as quickly as possible, as soon as I hit return to look up and look for my post to come, Candy's already got it. It's already there. I don't know how she does it. She's half magic. That's how she does it. She does. That's the way it is. But yeah, the Zen Ginger, co-first place. Bob Kaler, co-first place. Bob, he gets a link every now and then, but you know what he does? He makes everybody feel welcome. He adds an ingredient to the stone soup of the community. He cares about people on a personal level. He cares about their pets, and just a very unique individual to have in a community. I appreciate you very much, Bob, for being who you are. All the mods are hardworking, beautiful people. JH Aquatics in here. He was, oh, look, we got a Gina French $5 super chat rolling in. Interrupted the JH Aquatics compliment. Joseph over there in the Virgin Islands, getting ready to move to mainland USA. Been doing fish keeping for as long as he can remember. Raised in the pet industry. His parents brought him up loving nature and in the pet keeping hobby. I think his dad still maintains a saltwater tank. Beautiful person. Great stories. Love to have Joseph around. And Gina French says, a sticker for $5 with a fox and a thumbs up. Good job. Back at you. Thank you so much. Never required to drop a super chat, but always appreciate it in here, Ginger. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back down to the bottom of the chat. Oh, JH is still here. Go check out JH's video that he dropped today. That guy is getting out of the Virgin Islands. He's closing shop and heading out. It is the time. The Zen Ginger also brings out that Bob is always looking out for the actual people with all the GoFundMe links. Exactly what I'm talking about. Cares about people on a personal level. Discovers a need, takes action to help people meet their need. We're helping each other help each other. Bob does this on yet another platform, brings it to our platform and others, and shares it so the community wins as the community grows. Helping each other help each other, bending the needle toward the good. It's what we do. That's the way we roll. 31 of us in here now. 47 likes. Holy cow, guys. Absolutely outstanding. We've talked about fish foods. We've talked about the video that premiered on Wednesday, the top 5 guppy foods. We've talked about going over to the River Life Art page on Facebook after this. We had a link to the River Life Art Etsy page. I haven't mentioned River Life Art Patreon. I started a Patreon page with the River Life Art. A key feature is at the masterpiece level. I've also made some videos on how to view modern art. I didn't know that was a thing until I was into my adulthood. I had gone back to school, forced to take an art appreciation class. Blew my mind. Loved it. Absolutely changed my world, made my world a more beautiful place. Unlocked my inner artist. That was the class. Boom. I don't even want to tell you how many years ago that was, decades. We'll just leave it at that. My life has been more beautiful ever since. I think anyone who desires to learn how to look at modern art will have a more beautiful life thereafter. No condemnation, no arm twisting, just a statement to the universe. And from a heart of gladness that I learned how to view modern art, made my life immediately and thereafter more beautiful. I think it can do the same for everybody. So I put it on the buffet of options. The masterpiece level of Patreon support is not free. There is a fee. It's much cheaper than the tuition I paid to learn some of those concepts, but it's the hook that I have to ask for Patreon support. And that's the way it is. If you have any more questions about that, let me know. That's as direct as I know how to be. The Zen Ginger dropping the link. She's on fire. River Life Art on Facebook. There's the link. That's where we're headed. River Life Art on Etsy. That's where you can get your prints. By the way, if you're listening, I'm going to do this for you some more. If you'll order a print on Etsy, tell me in the comment at checkout which other print you'd like, and I'll send you an additional print for free. That doesn't apply to the postcards. We got some postcards on Etsy that are just $1. That doesn't apply to those. But for the regular 8.5 by 11 prints, you buy one, tell me which other one you want. I'll put it in your package and ship it to you. The Zen Ginger with the River Life on Instagram post. Active on Instagram. Just shared this stream on Instagram. Let me make a note here. I'll share something with you about Instagram on the way out here. Let me make a note so I can keep talking and not forget it. Okay, the Zen Ginger has also posted River Life Art on Patreon. I do have a Patreon. Big Lawn is my patron. So thank you for your Patreon support, Big Lawn. Big Lawn is a music, history buff, and DJ. So also a very creative person. Awesome to have his support on Patreon. So I appreciate you, Big Lawn. Cichlid Strain Hunter in the house. Man, if anyone knew how someone's selling a 220 gallon tank, I'd be grateful for the tip. I'm in DC. Wow. Good luck with that. And what a huge tank, 220. Oh my gosh. What are you going to put in that thing, Cichlid Strain Hunter? You already got some fish you're moving up? Mark's Aquatics in the house. Hello, Mark's Aquatics. Welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. All right. I was going to tell you something about Instagram. I discovered a channel today. Have no idea how it missed my radar before now. A YouTube channel. And tried to connect with them on Instagram prior to this stream. The YouTube channel name is Fish for Thought. Chris, young Asian guy over there, doing really neat, creative, fun, humorous, intelligent things on the platform. Passionate about keeping fish well, concerned about others who abuse fish, calling that out from time to time. But overall, I mean, a positive flow, a positive direction with the content. Absolutely binge watched some Fish for Thought videos today. Saw that he mentioned in a video he was on the Instagram platform as The Planted Lens. So I went over and followed him on Instagram and sent him a DM asking if he could to join us today. I'd like to meet him in the chat. So I didn't see Fish for Thought show up today, but definitely giving him an endorsement and a shout out because I discovered his content, his YouTube content, and enjoyed it all morning. Just some really great stuff. I think the latest video has something to do with 19 minutes of clean tank memes or clean your tank memes. And he's just playing several different characters in his own skits. That is just fish tube humor. You guys are going to love it. Check that out. JH Aquatics, giving the here. Fish for Thought is great stuff. So, yeah, check that out today and enjoyed it. So I wanted to make sure I passed that along to you. It's 12:24 now. We're And 6 minutes away from going for a full hour, 54 minutes on the air, says YouTube. 36 watching, 48 likes. I think we're going to try and make it for the full hour. We're going to stay on here till 12:30. I am going to take a 5-minute break following the closing up the shop here. Then we are going live on the River Life Art page. We're going to continue to build the community by expanding our social media preference and bringing in new people through different avenues. As most of you know, I do have an art show coming up at a local gallery, so I've been painting to get some special pieces ready for the art show. My art currently is tropical fish inspired, pet fish inspired. For this show, it's going to have an underlayment, a very heavy undertone of conservation. So I'm not only doing tropical fish, and definitely going to feature the cardinal tetra and talk about tropical ecology and conservation, but also local flora and fauna and conservation. So I've been painting some local wildlife inspired paintings. Yesterday I finished the brook trout. Beautiful painting. Wonderful colors. That fish is amazing. It's the only trout native to Tennessee. We also have brown trout and rainbow trout, but they were introduced as sport fishes. The brook trout is native. Just Shrimp Granny, that's awesome, Rack. You are Just Shrimp Granny. Thank you for saying that. So yeah, we got that going on, and the name of that show is Rack Cross Endorsed by Nature, and so that all the press release, all the media, that's going to be the title. But guess what? If you show up at the show, yeah, you're going to get a River Life sticker. They're coming in. In other words, I'm letting you guys know we're inviting the art community. So stand by, beware, welcome the folks. And if this becomes a gateway for people to become aware of what a joy it is to keep aquarium fish, hey, mission accomplished, right? And New York Gold is in the house saying hello with the fish peeps. Donnie was in the premiere of the guppyfood video. Glad to have him. I got one comment on that video concerning, I'll bet guppy fry aren't on the list, and that's their favorite. I don't know if that's their favorite. I think, obviously, in the wild, they don't eat all their young. I think that's just a defense mechanism when we keep them in glass boxes. But yeah, I watch and harvest those things. Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm feeling benevolent or what. There's another bucket project video in the queue that involves a guppy breeding bucket. There. I mean, I hope you guys don't get tired of watching bucket videos, because I think it clicks a lot of boxes for me. It has mass appeal. It's a bucket. Everybody loves a bucket. Bucket projects. I love projects. And a bucket is cheap. Projects are fun. And fish room related. Okay, there's already 3 videos made with 5-gallon buckets. If you go way back in the past, several others include buckets. They just don't feature them. They're not a star. And coming up, we got a breeding project with egg layers. We've got some other aquariums, styles, and so forth coming up where we'll talk about. That's why we talked about the pea puffer may be a good inhabitant for one of those. And we've got a bucket guppy breeding video in the queue. So I got 8 buckets. I got room for 8 aquariums. 2 or 3 videos ago when I cleaned up the fish room. Got to get something in those buckets. It's killing me. It's like empty aquariums. Can you imagine empty aquariums staged in your fish room? It's not right. It's just not right. But what is right is for us to close down on time. 30 of you still watching. We started streaming 58 minutes ago. We're closing down here. We're getting ready to turn the lights off. 49 likes. Guys, if you're in the house and you have just forgotten to hit the like button, it would be so cool to get 50 likes while we were on the air. Anybody forgotten to hit the like button? 49, almost 50. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much. I knew someone had forgotten. I forget every time I go into one of these things, and Bob Kaler's Aquatics has to remind me. Yeah. So thank there's Bob. Yep, that's me, Bob. Oh yeah, I knew there was something. So thank you very much. 51 likes now, 31 watching. I appreciate you guys so much. I do hope you'll make it over to the River Life Art Facebook page. We're going to go over there in 1 minute. That's not true. We're going to go over there, and I'll be there in about 5 minutes. I'm going to take a 5-minute break here, shut this OBS down, and get Facebook fired up. I hope to see you there. We're going to talk about some art, how influential it is in our community, can be in our lives, and may actually be a gateway to fish keeping. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the upcoming show, Rat Cross Endorsed by Nature. We're going to talk about why Patreon. We're going to talk about Etsy. How are things going? What do you want? What do you shop for? What influences you? What do you like about art? What do you not like about it? I want to hear from you. We're going to do it on Facebook, and we're going to do it right now. So give me 5 minutes to get over there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here on the River Life Community Tank. Again, thanks for your support of Susie Q at Q Aquatics and our time slot takeover. Do check out Fish for Thought if you haven't done that yet. Thanks for sharing good information with me and each other. Kaler's Aquatics wants to know, how's the Piaba tank? If you're talking to me, Bob, I don't have one. I set one up, tore it down, gave it to a store. They gave it away. James at Fish Room Fever has one set up. Maybe James popped back in here. We'll check in on his Project Piaba tank. Thanks for asking. In the meantime, why don't you guys get out there and see it, love it, and live it?